And you're rounding it out. He sent an email to everybody saying, don't be too exciting. Don't be too entertaining because I'm last. So it's all you now to bring us all back. How are we doing on coffee? Yeah, good? Okay. Great.
All right.
So, still tap dance.
One moment, please.
Guys, thing. This is my presentation of train going through tunnel at night. Like it. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Got to move your mouse. So I was just doing
right.
this
I'm trying to build the anticipation.
thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Ooh, interesting.
1 second. Hang.
Sneak peek. That was presentation going through tunnel at night. Oh, subliminal messaging, yeah. Well, good. While you're queuing it up, might as well talk a little bit. We have a great. How many of you are planning on registering? Actually, I'd like to say how many of you registered for the July one, but it's actually not been posted yet. But we have a pretty awesome lineup for our July one as well. It's going to be here, so DLA hasn't kicked us out yet, which is great. Looks like we're at about capacity, but I see a couple of empty seats, so that means that we still have room here. We haven't busted out capacity yet. I just want to do a little shout out here. Kendrick, DJ 5-Star, who's going to be headlining next one, and it's going to be loud, hopefully. Wake you all up in the morning with a little awesome DJ action, thank you. And education while it's going on with entertainment. We have a few other folks. Let me see the lineup for the next one, but it's going to be great. Actually, I don't remember it offhand, but we have quite a few people doing it. I know that for August we have a lineup. So if you're interested in doing it, I only have 2 of the 4. We have 6 showcases. I've got July fully booked. We have 2 of the 6 booked for August. So if you're interested in doing something, you have a really cool thing. We love demos. Demos are better than slides. So send me an email. Come up to me afterwards. Let me know so I can put you on our August agenda. And of course, we're also looking for August folks for the Columbia one that's coming up. So without further ado, back to the Cowtrip.
Great. Well, I prepared a bunch of slides that I won't be able to show today, so I'm going to jump right into the demo. My name is Terrance MacGregor. I am the CEO and co-founder of Cowtrip.com. Commuting sucks, but it doesn't have to. The whole purpose behind this app is to mitigate the pain that people experience commuting. Commuting is a fact of life. Unless you live in this building, you guys had to drive here, sit in traffic, go over the river and through the woods. It's an extremely depressing topic. So actually, I paid Ron to set up all those stats before I did my topic here. But so let me just give you guys a quick overview about why I chose this topic to throw all my time into. I'm a father. I have 3 children. I hate commuting. And one day I sat down, and I plugged it all out, and I looked at how many quality hours I had with my kids, and it was something like 35 minutes a night, and I was driving 2 hours a day, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So I looked out for tools. I couldn't find anything. I worked from home for a while, but now I'm starting to commute again, and I said enough. So I decided to make this app. And this is the story. I'll take you guys through it. As you can see, the idea behind this is that as you drive and you commute, it's very, you can see the cow gets angrier. There's a threshold, there's an imaginary threshold at about 25 minutes where your quality of life starts to decrease. This is based on some Swedish studies. Well, all right. Let me back up a little. Let me take you through the app, and I'll explain as we go. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and log in. And what you're going to see here is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help people understand the cost-benefit analysis When people go buy a house out in the suburbs, they're like, hey, I'm going to go out here. It's going to be great. Oh, my commute's only 35 minutes. But what are you really giving up? Nobody really asked. Well, maybe people do in this room, but I didn't fully ask that question, and I've paid the price. So a big part of this, as you see, when you come in here, you're going to update your profile. Okay, so I travel about 25 miles, 42 minutes each way. This is a made-up hourly rate, and I have this concept of hidden in public search, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so save and calculate. The first thing you're going to see is you get this concept of a commuting score. Mine's a 4.9. The cow's not very happy. And he also gives you some kind of suggestions about what you should be doing with your life, whether you want it or not. So some of the analytics that I really wanted to hammer home were, the financial aspects. What does the mileage cost? That's like a typical one you see on all sorts of things. But also this potential income. As you're driving, if you're driving, an hour one way, both ways, 5 days a week, that's a lot of money that you're missing out on. Time is, is another typical factor. The social impact is, there's a professor at Harvard, Robert Putnam. He wrote a book about bowling alone, how people become disconnected from their communities, disconnected from their neighbors. So this is a big part of what we're trying to do is highlight that. Your fewer chances of having social bonds in your community. Sun exposure. Recently on CNN, there's a guy, a trucker. I don't know if anyone has seen this or not. I had the visual, but I cut it out. But half his face is all sunburned. So as I was driving, I remember getting sunburn on my arms, like as I was doing my commuting. And I thought, this is terrible. So we have this we had this experimental metric in here: sun exposure, things that happen to you, carbon footprint, more standard things. This is what you're using per year, and this is what happens when you commute. I mean, when you carpool with somebody else, how you drop it. And this is probably one of the cooler ones. This is this concept of weight impact. There are tremendous studies out there about being sedentary. So when you're in your car, your metabolic rate drops down dramatically, and that's about as much as I'm going to get into science. So I can't compete with the first presentation. So that's the concept of the dashboard. It's really to highlight the true value, the true thing that's happening with your commute. Another concept we have too is we wanted to get this data accurate. So, for example, when you're driving, a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, my commute it takes me 15 minutes," but it doesn't take that long. A lot of times it takes longer than that, or sometimes it's shorter. But usually, I always wanted a way to track this because maybe I'm anal retentive. But I used to write it down on a piece of paper because I wanted to know how much time I was really gone. So we wrote an app, a mobile app, that will track, it uses geocoding. So when you drive and you get to your work, it turns off automatically, uploads to the server. And there's some interesting things that we're going to do with that. You're going to see what we're going to do here when I talk about the herd, kind of see where we're going with this. We have this concept of the herd. So you're driving to work every day, and one of the things that we're thinking that to increase your social, value on your commute is, of course, you want to carpool with somebody it's probably like-minded. So what we came up with, and this is a beta, we launched this a couple weeks ago, is this concept of, hey, you want to search for not only where you work, but it's where you live. So we have these filters set up where you have this work and home location, and users can pop up. And let's say this guy over here, these are clouds of uncertainty where we kind of mask where the users are. And we have this concept of escalating trust, which we're going to start building once we have a good understanding of who our users are. So the concept here is, let's say, oh, this guy, this is, I live right here, and this is, oh, this guy looks really good. Let me see if he's good. So you send him a goofy email, right? And you would say, hey, look, I'm not an axe murderer. Here's my information. And you would start to connect with this guy. And that's kind of the concept that we're building, is this herd. You're building your own herd. You're building your team of people. So when you're spending that time in the car, it's not as isolating, and that social impact is not as devastating. Okay? So that's kind of where we are right now. Where we're going in the future, I think a lot of what we're doing is going to lend itself to the concept of job creation. If you're driving, if you're looking at your commute and you're driving this distance, you're driving right by a perfectly good employer every day, it becomes a lot easier for you to find another job. Or maybe you'll see the scores pop up. Instead of seeing you're working at a 4.9 job, well, all of a sudden you have a 9.5 job come up. And it's that kind of concept of employers posting jobs, and that's one of the things that we're looking at is jobs. All right.
That was good.
Okay.
That was great. That's good.
All right.
I didn't want to cut you off. I know it's in beta. Have you thought about sort of the business side of it?
Yes. One things we looked at doing was the concept of a company dashboard. So let's say you're an HR company and you want to say, hey, look, where are my employees coming from? So it's allowing this dashboard so you can see what everyone's scores are. Maybe you can say, well, this guy, he's terrible. He's got a 2. Maybe we want to have him telecommute one day a week, to try and raise that score up. That's kind of one of the angles we're looking at.
That's great. And we have a couple of recruiters here in the room. I mean, would this be a useful tool for you guys? Maybe it'd be interesting. Would it be worthwhile maybe to even have them post job opportunities on Cowtrip to say look, if you're struggling with, I don't know, that's just the first thought that comes to mind. I don't know what the recruiters think about that, but it might be a cool idea. Well, any questions or comments or criticisms, complaints? Wow.
You have an app? Yes.
You mean mobile app?
Android only, though.
Okay.
So.
Wow. We are not in Cupertino. Yes. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Because we're recording this.
As a mother, this would be great to provide to the schools, because then we know where everybody is and how we can share the carpooling with the kids. So that would be good for college kids too.
Oh, that's
private schools, right? Especially.
That's great. I never thought about the carpooling for kids. Cowpooling for kids.
Let me.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
It's also a big movement among women's networking. It's curious that you're a guy up here doing this, but the work balance.
Rumor has it, right?
Because it's a big issue with women and working and the work balance, the work-life balance or work-life fit is what it's evolving to. So you've got opportunities with business women's networking here.
Oh, I didn't even think about that part. I was going to put things in here you could put in your car. So if you have a Prius or a Suburban, you could see what the different, you could dig in a little bit. I didn't think about how that would affect a mother, with children. It could be something that we add.
Go back. Yeah.
I think if you could hook up businesses with commercial real estate, you could say hey, do you know you have 50 employees commuting from this area, and for this much a month, you could have a satellite office. That might actually work.
Ah, that's a good one.
Go ahead.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah. Good, Paris.
That's good.
Good.
All right.
Yeah. No, get you guys.
I just want to say, I don't care what your app does. I just think your cow is so cute. I would
Oh,
use it.
That was cute.
Thank you.
It's on.
Hi, I'm Paris. I'm a recruiter, so I'm going to tack on to Ron's comment, actually. You can probably integrate data, like a zip code data from Indeed or another engine like that, very similar. That would just help. So for instance, right there on that map, you could have a star jobs here kind of a deal. I don't know.
That's a great idea. Indeed is a role model for job posting. That would be a smart move for us.
He's going. Oh, yeah, he has one. Yeah.
Just a comment. Company I used to work for years ago on the West Coast used to provide benefits to employees who carpooled.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's something that an employer might want to use to help do that. But just thinking more from the social aspect, you could get a group of companies in a certain area who wouldn't necessarily share data about their employees together, might be able to do this to create a carpooling community for that business park or something like that.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, and I think that getting for example, I don't think guys care as much about this, but the whole axe murderer thing, I think that it's more it's really women. The person who does all of our social media for this, she's the one I talk to all the time. What do you think about this? She's like, I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't do it because that's And what one conclusion that we came up with is that we think that that trusted business network is the right place to grow this properly. So I think your comments are right on.
Okay, Matt, best question.
For transportation companies, people that or even potentially Department of Transportations who manage buses, hey, we have a lot of people going from the suburbs to downtown Baltimore, effective routes and usage points.
That's another really good thing. I was thinking, sorry, I wanted to add to that. I think that one thing that I always had this concept, and my wife used to make fun of me for this, is this concept that, you know, everybody is a mini bus. And what I wanted to do was allow people to make money. You know, if you'd see in this commute, you could link up. So that's always something else that I was thinking about. So thank you.
Good.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a recruiter, definitely a great tool, and I love the idea and concept as well. Before I got into recruiting, I worked for Baltimore County, and just one of the biggest challenges with Baltimore is public transportation system and getting from, you know, where a lot of people live to jobs without a car. Mm-hmm. So I thought, you know, another possible avenue would be, you know, government-type agencies who are having challenges getting folks from certain areas to workplaces where there's no public transportation. So another link there as well.
Great. Good.
Wow.
For those folks that do have cars.
I'm glad this is being video recorded so I can go back and play all this.
Yeah, this is good.
Back.
Yeah, thank you. One or two more comments, and then.
Okay, on the heels of the lousy public transportation system in Baltimore, the U.S. Green Building Council that is involved with LEED certified buildings has points for, you know, being green. And since we have such a lousy system around here, maybe that could be, you know, a regional application. The other thing is, I think the cow, or let me ask you this, could the cow have green spots?
Oh, yes. Give me a day or two.
Otherwise, it looks. Okay, Jonathan, I guess that's the last.
I had another idea. You should do a JV with the guy from Howler, so you could have a designated cow.
Oh. A designated cow.
And then link up with the guys from Authentic and get people to talk about it on their mobile apps.
Good job. Well, I have to say, you know, it's one of the more unique ones. You know, in a world where there's a lot of photo sharing and social and mobile apps that kind of like start to all blend together, this is definitely one of the unique ones, and I'm just so thrilled that it's here in Baltimore. And you commute from that was your point all the way up there north, right? In northern Baltimore,
yeah.
In Hampstead. So I feel your pain. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, well, that was Baltimore Tech Breakfast. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. As mentioned, you know, we're looking for, if you got something you share, love demos. Actually, it was great that the PowerPoint wasn't working because I honestly think a demo is worth 1,000,000 PowerPoints. People love to see that stuff. So this is the kind of stuff we love seeing. If it's a project, it doesn't have to be a company. You're working on something, it's a hobby. It doesn't have to be software. You know, we've had folks in space tech, we've had bio, obviously. We have lots of different industries. Just tech and innovation in general. If you got something to show, we'd love to have you here. You guys have as much time, I guess, as you need here. They're not going to kick us out until 10-something, so please hang out. Eat all the bagels. They're paid for. Thanks. How did it work out?
Hey.
Nice job.
Yeah,
Where do you commute to?